Hey y'all, it's Shelly from Itty Bitty Farm. I am here in my pantry and craft room doing a project that I think is a little controversial, but I'm doing it anyway, and judge me if you shall, but this is how I store coffee when I find it on sale. Now, you'll see that I'm drinking Starbucks. Our favorite is Cafe Verona. And specifically, we buy it in large bags from a discount warehouse. And this month it was on sale for $6 off a bag. So I know this is expensive coffee. It's one of our guilty pleasures. And we've tried a bunch of different coffees and just not been able to find one that satisfies us. So for now, we are storing this dark roast Cafe Verona Starbucks. Now, this will work with any brand that has this little punch, this little valve in it. So the purpose of this valve is when coffee beans are roasted, they give off CO2. And the CO2, that's why bags are not vacuum sealed, because the CO2 actually will fill the bag up. And if they didn't put this valve in there, then the bag would pop, it would be popped wide open. So they put the valve in. It's a one-way valve. So the CO2 goes out, but nothing can go in. So that's to help in shipping. It probably also cushions it a little bit, but for the sake of storage, I'm honestly not even going to gain that much extra space with this. But for the sake of storage, I'm going to pull all of that CO2 out. And since this is a one-way valve, nothing will go back in. And the thought is that it would keep this fresher because there is no oxygen or anything like that in the bag. Now, these are ground. Danny gets up at 4 a.m. and sometimes earlier. So I'm not trying to have him grinding coffee in the mornings before I wake up. So he just finds it to be a little bit too messy for his liking. So we're just going to use the vacuum sealer to draw the CO2 and or air that's in there out. And then you'll see how we end up with a bag that looks like they used to be in the old days. So what I've done here is just straighten the top a little bit so that once it's vacuum sealed, you see it becomes really tight. So you kind of want it to be nice and neat for storage. So the warehouse where we buy these wholesale, these are usually, a year ago were $15 a bag for a 40 ounce. And then they went up to $22 a bag, like almost overnight, and it was really painful. So we tried a lot of different coffees, a lot of different coffee flavors, a lot of different coffee combinations. We don't go out, we don't go to the Starbucks and buy coffee. Not big into that whole fad, but we do prefer the flavor of this coffee, so why not store it when we can find it on sale? So the sale was $6 off a bag. So I ended up getting these for math. I ended up getting these for $16 a bag. And, that's like the price that it was a year ago. So I bought as many as I could. They limited you to 5 per membership for the month. So I purchased 5 on my membership. I purchased 5 on my daughter's membership, and I purchased 5 on my cousin's membership. So, we do what we can. And of course, we give back when we can too. So, Saved $30 each time. These are very expensive coffees. I know there's cheaper coffee out there. If I was storing away for lifetime, I do have coffee stored away that's not this, for emergency type situations. Or if someone comes over to my house that isn't a coffee connoisseur and they don't like really strong coffee, I do have some regular coffee here that I can brew. So I want to show you with this vacuum seal attachment that I have. This actually came with an old Ziploc brand vacuum sealer that I had, so I saved it because it went with this container here, which has since broken. Well, the clamps have broken on it. You can still use it, but it actually went here to seal this up. So that's neat, but it works on anything that has a one-way valve. So that's what I'm using here. And again, this is not really a space-saving thing as much as it is the idea that perhaps we will keep it fresher because there's no oxygen in there. Because that CO2 is let off in there, it's probably cushioned from any oxygen anyway, but I just like the vacuum seal things. What can I say? So I've got my bags here lined up. These are all vacuum sealed. And so what I did want to point out here also, besides the fact that we're not saving any space by vacuum sealing these, the hope is just that it stays fresher. We will probably drink this within a year at the most, like a year and a half. So it's not probably need to be sealed at all. But, you know, why not? I have the tools. And I mean, if you know why not, tell me in the comments. I'm not sure. If you don't have the attachment, that's fine. You can just store it. Like, for example, you could put it in a jar if you wanted to. If you weren't a big coffee drinker, you could just put it in a jar and vacuum seal it with one of these type vacuum sealers. You could put an oxygen absorber in there, which would pull out any oxygen that happened to get to it. I myself just prefer to just store it on the shelf like this in a dark, cool place. I don't really believe in expiration dates on things, but I will go through here and write the expiration date that the manufacturer put on there. That will tell me when it was manufactured anyway, because they have a guideline for their manufacture dates. And this one, for example, says best before July 30th of 2023. We may get to it by then. We probably won't. That's only 4 months from now. So, so I'll just write 7/23 on the top of this one. I think these were all the same lot. Yep, July 23. And then I've got some down here from another purchase, July 23. So we do have other coffee in storage. So I have this medium roast, and I have this, it doesn't say what roast it is, it's just Colombian. And then I have this black silk. And then I've got a few whole beans. These are coffees I got from different places. I have some decaf and some flavored coffees. This was a gift. The thing to note is that these, well, this isn't, but this is like called a number 10. It looks like a number 10 when it's written down. It's a hashtag 10. It's pronounced a 10-pound can. Doesn't hold 10 pounds, but it's pronounced a 10-pound can. This holds 48 ounces. But if you'll notice, the bottom of this one says March 10th, best used, which just means we think you should buy more before March 10th of 2023. Now, I bought this probably 6 or 8 months ago on sale at Walmart just to have a backup coffee, or if someone comes to my house that doesn't like dark brew. Haven't opened it yet. This is a 24 ounce, so it's half the size of this other one. And it says it expires June 8th, 2024. And that's, of course, before it's opened date. Now, what I wanted to point out with these is that what happens when they seal these commercially, they put in there a gas that keeps them fresher, keeps the oxygen from touching them. So they're not vacuum sealed, they have like a gas in there. This is that valve that you see on the other coffees. So we're not going to try to vacuum that out because I do not want my coffees to get, I don't want this seal to break. Now this is an aroma seal. See how it has that little thing, the same little one-way valve thing, I guess.